Wow. Wow, Vincent Kompany. This is the type of timing you're on, Vincent Kompany. Beating PSG 2-1 in the Parc des Princes. Down one man. I gotta say, Vincent Kompany really surprised me in this game. He really surprised me, and I think he surprised a lot of people because he is a very young manager, right? He hasn't been managing for too many years. We saw him manage Burnley a little bit. He did good in the championship, but then in the Premier League, he was completely ass. But now with Bayern Munich, what he's been able to achieve last season with Bayern Munich and so far this season, it's impressive. Like, damn, it's impressive, man. Vincent Kompany. And, it makes sense because if you look at him as a player, he was an incredible captain with Man City. Obviously, he was an amazing player, but he was an even better captain. So he was always going to make for a good manager, right? Simple as that. But what we saw from him this game is amazing. It's incredible. And we need to start giving Bayern Munich their flowers. I feel like a lot of people are still underrating Bayern Munich. And to be honest, I've been saying it for a lot of the season that Bayern Munich are one of the best teams in the world. They're incredible. In the attack, they have arguably one of the best attacking lineups in the world. They have a great midfield. And yes, defensively, they may be a little bit shaky at times. But look what we saw today. Look what we saw today. That defense could not be broken down by the current Champions League holders. A team that has arguably the best attack in the world in PSG could not break down this defense today. They tried everything and they had like 85% possession. They had about 40 minutes straight on the ball to try and break down this defense and score 2 goals. And they couldn't do it with the home advantage. And that comes down to both Bayern Munich's brilliance, but Vincent Kompany's brilliance. I think we have to say that Vincent Kompany is a top manager. And even though he's only been managing at this level for a bit over a year, he's been fantastic. He's been incredible at Bayern Munich. 2-1. 2-1 was the score of this game. I predicted a 2-2 draw. I did think that Bayern Munich were going to be the better team, but I thought with the home advantage, PSG would still be able to get a result. But Bayern Munich ended up getting the win. They ended up getting the 3 points. And they look like the scariest team in this Champions League. A lot of people are saying Arsenal. A lot of people are still saying PSG. Some people are saying Real Madrid, Barcelona, Liverpool, Inter Milan. I think it's Bayern Munich. I think this team is scary. It's scary. Whoever is versing Bayern Munich, y'all should be worried because what we saw today was crazy. Let's talk a little bit about this game. So coming into this game, PSG were definitely the favorites, even though Bayern Munich have been fantastic this season. But Bayern Munich ended up scoring early on. They scored in the 4th minute. It was an incredible backheel pass by Gnabry to Olise. Olise tried, the goalkeeper saved it. Luis Díaz got the rebound and scored the goal. In the 4th minute, Bayern Munich were already up 1-0. Then for the next 30 minutes, Bayern Munich definitely looked like the better team. They had more of the ball. They looked like the more threatening team. Dembele did score a goal, which was ruled out for offside. But Bayern Munich in the attack, they looked incredible. They were pressing PSG so high up the pitch. They didn't leave them with any space. And yes, Bayern Munich did get caught out a few times. And that's how Dembele did score that goal. But once again, it was ruled out for offside. Then in the 32nd minute, a mistake from Marquinhos. I gotta say, this PSG defense does not look like the same defense they had last season. They don't look as consistent and they just don't look as strong on the ball. Not really the fullbacks, but mainly the center backs. And I feel like it mainly comes from the fact that they've been rotating a lot this season. And I feel like Luis Enrique hasn't found his strongest center back pairing yet. Obviously, last season, for majority of the time, it was Marquinhos and Pacho. But this season, we've seen Pacho play a few games. We've seen Beraldo play a few games. We see Zabarny play a few games. But Marquinhos has played the least amount of games out of all 4 of those center backs. So I'm not really sure why he started in this game, I think if you could have went with a Zabarni or maybe even a Beraldo, you might have been better off. But I do understand it because obviously Marquinhos is a very good defender. He has the experience that these other center backs don't have. But that failed them in this game because that mistake cannot happen as a center back. He had the ball for about 5-6 seconds and Luis Díaz just took the ball off him and scored. Simple, easy goal. Bayern Munich are up 2-0 in the first half. But then the game changer happened. Luis Díaz made a pretty bad tackle on Hakimi. Honestly, I hope Hakimi doesn't suffer a serious injury because of this. It looked pretty bad. It looked like he may have twisted his ankle. I'm not really sure. But that was a poor tackle by Luis Díaz. And considering the fact that you're up 2-0, halftime is about a minute away, I thought that was a very stupid decision, to be honest. I think if Luis Díaz didn't get sent off, Bayern Munich could have went on to win this game 3-0, maybe 4-0, right? But that was a very poor mistake by him. And now he will miss Bayern Munich's next game, which is definitely going to be a loss for them. But anyway, going into the half, Bayern Munich were up 2-0, but they were down in men. And Vincent Kompany made the decision to go all out defense. He said, fuck the attack. We're going to put all the players in our box and we're going to defend for our lives and we're going to win this game. And that's what happened. That's what happened. If you look at the stats in the second half, 86% possession for PSG, 14% for Bayern Munich. They had 2 shots in the half compared to PSG's 19 shots, 8 on target. But even with all those shots, defensively, Bayern Munich were incredible. Neuer, he made some very, very good saves and it worked out. Although it looked pretty rough, it worked out for them. Now, I will say that PSG's substitutions in João Neves and Kang-in Lee definitely changed the game for them. I think they were incredible when they came on. Kang-in Lee, he made some great crosses, great passes. He really opened up the space. And I thought he was a really important player for PSG in this game. And I think he deserves more game time, honestly. I think Kang-in Lee is a fantastic player. We've seen it last year and we're seeing it this year again. He can come on and really change games. And obviously, João Neves, I thought he should have started the game. I think he's a fantastic player. And I think PSG really need him in their midfield as that more defensive-minded player, the player that has a lot of stamina, goes in for a lot of tackles. I think they really missed him in this game. I think if he would have started, it could have been a different result, honestly. But anyway, Kang-in Lee was fantastic when he came on. João Neves ended up scoring the goal for PSG, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. They looked like they were going to score for that whole half. I remember when they brought on Gonzalo Ramos, I'm like, bro, this guy's going to score. Like, that's what he does. He scores in like the 95th minute. But Bayern Munich defended well, and Vincent Kompany's game plan worked out. And I think he deserves a lot of credit. Some people may not agree with me, but me personally, I think a lot of credit has to go to obviously Bayern Munich's defensive lineup, but even Vincent Kompany. I think he did a good job managing this game. But, you know, very interesting game. Very interesting game for sure. If we look at the table at the moment, this brings Bayern Munich to first place. They have played 4 games and they have won 4 games. The only other team to do that is Arsenal, with PSG sitting in 3rd place, having that 1 loss in today's game. But Bayern Munich, with a plus 11 goal difference, man, their attack is crazy. Luis Díaz, Harry Kane, Olise, these players are fantastic. They have such a good attack. It's crazy. And like I've been saying this whole season, I think Bayern Munich are arguably the most scary team in this competition. You look at Arsenal, you look at PSG, you look at Inter, Real Madrid, Barcelona. They all have weaknesses. At the moment, I don't see a weakness with this Bayern Munich team. You know, if we look at them last season, you would have said their defense. If you look at them this season, defensively, they've been much better. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Bayern Munich could definitely be a contender to win this Champions League. 100% in my opinion. They're definitely the top 3. 100%. But this was a very interesting game, honestly. 2 giants going at it. But one was better than the other, and Bayern Munich was the better team, and they ended up winning. We also saw another crazy game with Liverpool against Real Madrid, which Liverpool ended up winning 1-0. Definitely going to be a lot of Real Madrid fans that are mad about that. But this Bayern Munich game, it was a great watch. Great watch, and great to see Vincent Kompany and the tactics that he already possesses, being such a young and fairly inexperienced manager. I think there's definitely a lot of big things to come for this Bayern Munich team.